All right, so today is all about finding authenticity, lessons from Maya Angelou. If you read my article for earlier in the day, the quote I used from Maya was, "You alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody." That's a quote by Maya Angelou. And so when I really sit with that, it made me really think about like all of the things that I do where there's still this underlining presence of trying to like prove my worth or prove my worthiness to other people, to prove that I'm a great coach, to prove that I'm a great friend, and I'm a prove that I'm a great daughter, like all these different things, instead of just simply being, right? And knowing that like who I am is enough and that um I don't have to like perform, right, in order to prove or lay stake to my claim of my place, right? And so, a lot of this, I have definitely worked through. You don't get to where I am at, in age and in expertise without dealing with the surface levels of this. But from doing this challenge that I'm doing for the month of March, is really making me look at some of the uh, smaller ways, some of the more uh finite type of ways, sneaky ways that these things show up in my life, right? Where I'm thinking, oh, it's all good. That's not a thing for me anymore. But as I'm like allowing myself to sit with this and allowing God to actually open my eyes to certain things, and I'm seeing how some of these things still do show up, right? Um, where there's this need of validation, right? So, for example, like having an idea and really being excited about it, but then having to like reach out to my close girlfriends or my close colleagues, and I'm like, I have this idea. What do you think? And, do you think it's a good idea? As opposed to, this is an idea that I have. This is what I'm going to do. Can you support me or whatever it is that I actually may need in the process, as opposed to just simply looking for that validation or that approval that this is a good idea, to move forward with. So there's still some of that, that happens from time to time. And so catching myself to be like, okay, girl, like it's a great idea because it's the idea that God gave you. And it was a download that you received. And so just go with it. And this particular challenge is actually a prime example of that. I got this idea. This was something that I knew I wanted to work on, kind of in my own private space. But then I got the message, no, you need to actually do this out loud, on your Substack, on your YouTube channel. And I hadn't posted on my YouTube channel for a year. Like the last video I posted was like a year ago, and it wasn't even like me, my face, right? It was a voiceover that I did of some archetype work. But so even in that, it's just like, oh, okay, you want me to do this out loud? And when I shared with a couple people that were close to me, I didn't look for the validation. I started to, but I caught myself, right? And I just was like, no, this is what I've been led to do, so I'm gonna do it. And here we are, right? Day 6, and just continuing this journey. And so, and then just kind of looking at like what would change if I fully accepted that I am enough right now in all of the ways, right? If there was no leaks and nowhere that this pesky energy was still seeping through, what would that look like? And so it definitely would look like, um, being more courageous, being more bold, saying things exactly how I want to say them, what comes up. It may look like righteous anger. It may look like um being even more edgy, which is part of my natural personality, right? Different things like that. Um so it's very eye-opening. I think when you're in a place where, for those that may be watching this that feel like I'm super self-aware, like I know what my faults are, I know where my flaws are, I know the things that I'm working on, I know what I'm great at, right? And when you are somebody that's very self-aware, that can also sometimes be a stumbling block because when you when you know that you're a person that's self-aware, you think that you don't realize that certain things are still sneaking through, right? You don't realize that certain things are still um lying deeper down, right? Because you've cleared out most of the surface. Hell, you've even cleared out some of the deep places, right? And so when you have some of these remnants, it's easier to not realize or not see them for what they really are. And so that is what this challenge is actually helping me to do. It's helping me to see where some of these remnants are that I still need to dig out, clean up, move through. And so the affirmation for today is I am already whole. I have nothing to prove. So I hope y'all are getting some of this. If you're watching this, definitely make sure you comment in the comments and share what may be coming up for you. You can always check out the written part of this. If you're not following me over on my Substack, that link is in the description as well. Um, because when you accept that you are enough, everything changes. Like literally everything. The pressure lifts, the self-judgment fades. In a lot of ways, the self-sabotage also is eradicated, and the constant need for validation definitely dissolves. So, I would love to know what's one thing that you already are claiming that you are today. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow.